I'm a bastard in this game. Inglorious. My feet don't touch the ground. Pistorius. That's what I would say if I was the rapper Drake. Nothing good could come of this. Can we go back to a time before this? That's what I would say if my name was Professor History and I said obvious things in a way to sound smart. We're not going to, don't worry, we're not going to do that. Nor are we going to get epic. You know, we condemn everyone involved, basically.
To echo Felix's sentiments here at the beginning of the show, I know everyone is obviously trying to get a takeoff about the Charlie Kirk assassination. But I will say here just at the beginning of the show that we are not going to give you any kind of condescending lecture about how this is all really quite bad and how you react publicly to the murder of a detestable person will either enhance or fight back against the creeping fascism of the country. But in light of that, I think what we should do with the time we have is something productive. Like, let's wildly speculate on what would be the funniest identity of the person behind the trigger. And Felix, we were talking before we got on the air today. I think the funniest thing would be how shall I put this? A Caucasian gentleman who is an ardent admirer of hip hop culture.
Yeah, a Travis Kelce type. Well, like from the one photo I saw, it's like I ran it through my computer that detects these things. The Travis Kelce TX55. And there's a pretty good chance of this guy being one of those, which, I mean, isn't it something like 80% of murders are people that knew each other?
Most of them, yeah. Yeah,
he was from Arlington Heights. He probably, like in high school, there was probably like a UNC powder blue shorts kid, a white kid who wore a wave cap. And they had some, bad interaction in 2010 where Charlie was like, "No, you cannot ask me a question." And it's just been brewing for 20 years. I mean, anything's possible.
The Provo, Utah version of J-Rock from Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
If it could happen to you, it could happen to me. And I think that is the lesson that we all need to glean from this. Before we get any further in today's show, we should introduce our, I don't want to say guest for this show, but he's back again, folks. It's Matt Christman.
Hello. I'm definitely not in the building, so I'm in California. I'm in Utah, so I'm not implicated.
But what to say about a fairly grisly political murder? I mean, I got not much to say at the moment because I think the most interesting thing of note so far is that they still haven't caught the person who killed him.
What the hell?
I'm starting to think that Cash may not be qualified for this job. I don't know. He seems like he might not be good at it.
But remember, they took a shot of Trump and killed a guy. Just like, just step it up. Good Lord.
But like most of these assassinations or assassination attempts, like the person behind the trigger is either killed immediately or kills himself. And this has like now been going on over 24 hours. And they seem to have just walked away from like a televised political assassination that's garnered national attention and seem to have just, I don't know, slipped through the FBI dragnet.
Enough time has passed that this guy probably was like, yeah, I can probably reactivate my Hinge profile. I'm thinking about checking out OkCupid again.
Matt, every time you come back on the show, it's like another week and another time we have to announce they are dabbing on us.
They're dabbing on us, folks.
I think they may be dabbing on us. I think they're getting a 15-yard penalty to be enforced on kickoff for the flagrant doing of the gritty in the end zone.
Yep.
Are you going to bring up the Pete Hegseth tweet that like?
Oh, wait, was it like farewell, good job, faithful servant? Was he talking to the shooter or Charlie Kirk?
That was like, that really was like. Did you mean to send this to Evil Chat? Meanwhile, there's a message in Evil Chat that's like, a horrible day for our country. We will miss him.
I mean, now is a time for, I would say, wild speculation about the causes of this murder. And all I will say is I got to shout out Sean McCarthy. The thing that most crystallized my thinking of this immediately after finding it was Donald Trump saying to Charlie, "No, they expect one of us in the wreckage, brother." There's too much talk about the birthday card.
I just want to say something for, any libs out there, or people with, most of us have lib family members, but I think there is a good central truth in the idea of don't give them a reason, right? But the thing about people who are looking for a reason is they're not going to stop looking for a reason if you behave in a certain way.
If you want to head off the nascent fascism in this country, I think a good thing to do would be to preemptively surrender. So, you don't give them a reason to do fascism because you'll just stop existing. Yeah.
And obviously don't on your account where it has your workplace and photos of your kids, be like, I'm jacking off at his funeral. Yo. But also just what it almost seems like wishful thinking to me that if these people present as earnest and high-minded enough, everything will go back to normal. And that's just not happening. Or if they seem heartfelt enough that they won't be blamed for this.
Right.
It was such a short time ago that those two Democrats were killed in Minnesota, and every fucking Republican in the country was like,
fucking Mike Lee was doing based posts about it.
Well, we figured it out. It was Lil Nas X.
Yeah. And you know what? It does seem that, I don't want to say that, this is a preview of things to come, because this has just been happening. And maybe it'll lead to an acceleration of just, I don't know, this domestic Gladio style situation where these impotent and spectacular acts of murder are just sort of publicly witnessed, shared, debated over. And everybody, when a murder happens, they just hold their breath being like, is this going to indict my side or my enemy's side? And making us look bad. And then and then the people doing the killings for one reason or the other will be attempting to implicate the other side. It's all just there's not many places to go with it. But if you are feel intimidated by the sea of groypers with children's cartoons as their avi being like, the Saxon has awoken, the race war will commence, the cleansing will begin. It's just you had the same reaction when Cracker Barrel changed its fucking corporate branding.
Wait a minute, what? You're joking, of course.
Matt, I'm sorry. Uncle Herschel has fallen.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's now a silhouette.
They're taking away the little peg game on the tables and replacing them with gender ideology.
Well, that game was too hard.
Yeah,
but,
it was.
Matt, the new logo is actually a silhouette of a nude man giving a haircut. Because they're opening their first Chicago location. No, if I can give a piece of advice to people, to anyone, or to animals, one way to drive yourself crazy in life is to not sweat the small stuff. The biggest things in your life, people dying, horrible diseases, the years of lead, whatever's going to happen, you can't stop it. Even if you knew it was coming, what could you do about it? Post an infographic on Instagram? That's not going to do anything. Stuff is just going to happen to you. Things that you can control, like your V-taper, what kind of haircut you have, whether you are going to descale your Nescafe or throw it out and buy a new one. This is all you should worry about. In fact, you should be neurotic about all these small things because your life is decided around the margins. And whether, we're in a very confusing civil war that I don't know how that's going to work. Everyone who's saying that's going to happen, please explain the geography of that because I don't get it. Or not, you can't stop it. And what does history show us in any event? That stuff does happen, but it doesn't happen to you.
So far, so good. I don't know. If I was doling out advice here to liberals who are worried that, oh God, they're gonna use this to crack down on freedom of speech and make being a based lib illegal. They're gonna arrest me for laughing at Charlie Kirk. I would say like the one way to make sure that happens is to like get out all those posts now where you talk about how Charlie Kirk was a reasonable moderate who simply cared about debate and freedom of speech. It's like,
yeah,
look, you don't have to celebrate the guy dying or being like, I think political murder is good, actually. But like, this guy, first of all, did not believe in debate. And like, he was just, a cynical opportunist who shot off canned zingers at like, I don't know, black people, gay people. Take your choice. Like, but and he certainly was no like moderate committed to the cause of American democracy or opposed to political violence.
You know what? It looks fucking insane when people do that. It A, looks guilty. B, it's like, okay, was January 6th a big deal or not? I'm sorry. I mean, was it or not?
I don't know if I have any further moral instruction on this. But once again, I will just come back to when I began the program with Matt. They are dabbing on us. They are dabbing on us at a rate that honestly is increasing with exponential ferocity. Mm-hmm. And I was of course thinking about you this week when I would just say in my poetic literary sense in a movie, the event that precipitated and caused Charlie Kirk's assassination took place. And by that, I mean the publication of the Jeffrey Epstein birthday book.
Oh, yes.
It's been quite a birthday party. And this is, it's funny. Ezra Klein popped up today with a big opinion piece about how, quote, Charlie Kirk did politics the right way. He was practicing politics the right way. And in it, he says, Kirk and I were on different sides of most political arguments. We were on the same side of the continued possibility of American politics. It is supposed to be an argument, not a war. It is supposed to be won with words, not ended with bullets.
We were on the side of continued like, okay, so your biggest praise for the guy is that he wasn't like a monarchist. Why does he even say anything? We both took in calories in the form of food and expelled it from our body in the form of feces. Okay.
Well, it was actually like I on a certain level, I think he's right. I think him and Charlie Kirk were both part of the same political project of America, which is, the left and right wings of capitalism and imperialism. But I think there was another comment made by Ezra a couple weeks ago where he was discussing, the Epstein thing recently on his podcast. And, in the transcript, he says, quote, and I think both of these comments are very much of a pair with each other. But he says here, I think I should stay before I start this episode, where I am on the Epstein story. If you force me to give you my best guess, I think this guy had a lot of powerful friends and that he was a predator and a pedophile. And those sides of his life were mostly separate. Like, first of all, the word mostly there is doing like Atlas level weightlifting about the meaning of what he's talking about here. But like, I wonder how Ezra's feeling about that statement in light of the fact of the publication of a 50th birthday book given to Epstein by all of his special friends, including Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, among many other notable names. And it's just like, if these two parts of his life were separate, Matt, Felix, I don't know if you like poured through this birthday card book.
Oh yeah, I jacking off big time. So horny, so hot.
The one thing that struck me was that no matter who was writing him their best wishes for their birthday, whether it's recently sacked UK ambassador Peter Mandelson or Donald Trump, or just like random friends he had, like from back in the day, from Brooklyn, from Coney Island, growing up in the neighborhood.
Hey, I'm checking over here.
Is that like for his 50th birthday, every single one of them used the occasion to discuss his sex life and make weird innuendos and jokes about his fondness for young women, including joking stories about getting teenage girls to undress at knife point on his boat. So, like, what are the chances that these two discrete areas of his life, billionaire financier who's friends with all of the most powerful people in Hollywood, Silicon Valley, and Washington, D.C., and runner of a teenage brothel, were really that separate from one another?
What would Ezra's explanation be for why Leon Black gave him like $200 million? Is Ezra, I mean, I know he doesn't believe this shit, but is he the only person in the world who actually believes Leon Black when he says it was for tax advice? Presumably the greatest tax advice in human history.
You got to pay him.
Yeah.
gotta pay him, yeah.
What does that hourly rate look like if you're paying him $200 million fucking dollars?
I mean, there are some a lot of great drawings in that birthday book, including the one that showed him giving balloons to girls, and then like years later having them just jack him off at what appears to be Mar-a-Lago with the caption, "What a country, what a country." But like,
Chekhov Smirnoff.
it's just like all of these gushing like little mash notes to him by all of his adult male friends. Like that's the other odd thing about this. You're a 50-year-old man. Why the fuck are your other adult male friends writing you birthday cards in a big book that celebrates you?
That part, I mean, I think it's lame, but it's not that. That is like the least weird part of the story. I mean, that it's like inconceivable now, but like up until about 10 years ago, it was normal for like rich 50-year-olds to, you know, one of their friends is turning 50 and they're like, we're going to have a roast. And our friend group is called the Bastards of the Round Table. we're the cigar SOBs. And we're going to do a good old fashioned Milton Berle style roast of this sick bastard. That stuff has been going on forever.
That's true. It's like, oh, you pedophile, you.
Yeah. It's in a vein with that, like, all guys want is to get a blowjob while watching the Three Stooges. This is how guys talk to each other. They go, "How's your dead kid, you fat bastard?"
Yeah, it's definitely like skewed the metric.
Yeah, but it is unusual for all those celebrating the birthday to specifically make note at how much of a pedophile their friend is repeatedly
Yeah.
and with illustrations. That part, there's no good traditions lie in that.
And what do we need to make of Donald Trump's reaction to, or like his not his reaction to this, because his ass just had a stroke. I know we're one to talk here, but Donald Trump, I think it's a good chance he had a series of small strokes. Maybe his face was drooping today, and then like that. Did you guys see that weird like the statement he made from the Oval Office about the Charlie Kirk assassination?
Yeah. Charlie, you were so good at turning me on. The fucking screensaver. Did you notice that he glitched out when he said Patriots?
Yeah.
Hideo Kojima, you fucking genius.
Matt, as a professional stroke haver, how would you diagnose the president right now?
Well, yeah, it's trouble conjuring the phrase, you know, and also slurring. It's difficult. So it's definitely, I was like, hey, I know that dude.
But yeah, like his attitude, like weeks ago when the Wall Street Journal published that like there is this birthday note that has all this weird dialogue between Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, where they're like, Jeffrey, we love being good friends with each other and doing sex crimes against minors. Wink, wink. Like Donald Trump's, you know, it's a hoax, nothing, it doesn't exist, and he sued the Wall Street Journal. Well, then they published just a photograph of the letter, and the new line is that like the letter is real, but his signature has been forged, or someone 22 years ago was setting up Donald Trump for just this moment.
But I think if you got like 100 of the best signature forgers in the world, they could not make Donald Trump's incredibly interesting signature, I have to admit. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think anyone believes that. If you're saying
of
that you have long since accepted that the president, even if he is not technically a pedophile, he is maybe someone worse, someone who committed pedophilia for social climbing purposes.
I just wanted to fit in.
Yeah. If you're saying that, it's just I don't know, a public demonstration of your faith.
Yeah, exactly. The dabbing will continue because it's just like all this is out there. Two American presidents, one former, one currently the president. Look, about 20 years ago, they both contributed birthday letters to their special birthday friend, who happens to be one of the most notorious rapists and pedophiles in the world. Nothing to see here. Let's all move on. And the dabbing will continue because, like, does anyone think anything is going to come of any of this? like, like, is there going to be accountability, or is someone going to lose their job over this? At the very least, no, of course not. It's all just. Oh, actually, no. I should take that back. Peter Mandelson did lose his job today. The UK ambassador, because like they just found like 18,000 emails between him and Jeffrey Epstein where he's like, Jeffrey, what's happened to you is an absolute disgrace. You would never be put in prison in Great Britain for rogering a lass.
Yeah, that was like, do you remember when XXX Tentacion died and people posted their like last text with him?
Yeah.
And it was always like, yo, don't listen to the haters. You're the best. You're my favorite new artist. That's what all of Mendelssohn's messages to Epstein were like. Well, I mean, it is kind of confusing that they gave him such a high profile post, because it's been very well known that he was extremely close with Epstein for years and years and years. I have been told by people who are from the UK that the press just does not cover it there, partly due to their much different laws around defamation and libel, but also probably just because they don't want to. They don't want to implicate anyone in that. But it just strikes me as an incredibly arrogant decision on Keir Starmer's part that he thought
appoint
that
him UK ambassador. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, actually, it's totally believable, but you know, within context, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, morally, I would expect it from him, but it's like if right after the fucking Lifetime documentary, but before the federal trial, if Joe Biden was like, my new Secretary of State is R. Kelly. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I did like the one where Mendelssohn was like, read The Art of War, Jeffrey. Try to be philosophical about it all.
Is there a thing in Art of War about like
what to do if you're arrested for soliciting, suborning a minor for the purposes of prostitution? I don't know.
Yeah.
When you are soliciting a minor for prostitution, make sure the sun is at your back so you can say, yeah. Or no, the sun's in your eyes so that you can claim that you didn't know how old they were.
When you are going to county jail for solicitation of a minor, ask them if you can leave on weekends. And it worked.
Yeah.
One of the most insanity-inducing things about this time, one of the reasons that everyone is getting so crazy. There's a lot of reasons, and no single reason where if you took it out of the equation, everything gets better. But an under-discussed one is the fact that no one goes away now. Nothing is big enough to make someone stand down in shame. Joe Biden at the debate that caused him to step away from his reelection, that would have been enough for him to step down from the presidency and like kill himself 20 or 30 years ago. All of this stuff, all of the Trump and Epstein stuff, he would not have even gotten the nomination. But these incredibly, like, just these events that, I mean, do people remember why Trent Lott had to step down as minority leader?
Oh man, remember Rich Allen?
Yeah, Macaca. Oh, it was George Allen.
Macaca, like the McGreb or whatever, slang, just incredibly obscure racial slur.
Boutique racist slur.
Their career is done. And it's just like the Marlboro Man, like the U.S. Senator or whatever. It's like, what the hell, man? Poor choices. Sorry.
Now for George Allen, if he did that, people would be like, why are you triangulating? Just call him the N-word. We don't need another fucking rhino.
George Allen's being a soy cuck lib by using such an obscure racial slur.
Yeah.
Hey, remember Larry Craig? Remember why he had to go away?
Yeah. I mean, that might still do you. I don't know. That one. No,
you can be gay and be a conservative Republican now, provided you're also extremely racist.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Being gay and like trying to suck down just anyone who's in the bathroom with you. That's like two different, I don't know. I don't know. If you work for one of these really old senators out there, can you switch around his medication so he does that? And we can see if that's still enough to make someone resign? Because I am curious. But yeah, no, the problem of no one cycling out permanently of public life, and therefore, like, the vast majority of the people that we see every day just getting older and older and falling apart in front of our eyes, is just, it really makes everything seem meaningless to everyone.
Man, remember, I remember Larry Craig and the Idaho undercover, super, super, super deep investigation, and just poof, arrested sucking off in bathroom. Just, man, I honestly, I feel for that reporter. I'm sorry, man.
He just tweeted it out.
The wide stance.
He just wide stanced it out. The wide stance.
I felt bad for that reporter, but he made it sound like he was the detective in Citizen X. And it was just about this old man, like, blowing guys in bathrooms.
Inspector Javert.
Yeah.
Well, what even did I say about the Epstein birthday book, other than it's just, a fairly nauseating carnival of cruelty, and just like another spectacle to be enjoyed by all, and I don't know, not ever digested or passed through the body politic.
The classic, like, oh, Idiocracy, it's a freaking documentary. Salo is freaking documentary.